One night in Paris, Driss is driving his employer, Philippe, through the city. Bored by the traffic, Driss speeds, weaving through cars and ignoring traffic laws. The police give chase, and Driss bets €100 he can evade them. However, they ambush him, blocking his path. Undeterred, Driss raises the stakes to €200, claiming he'll procure them an escort. The police pull Driss over. Feigning offense, he insists Philippe needs urgent medical attention, claiming he's unable to move. The officers, discovering Philippe's wheelchair in the car, find his claims to be incapacitated, dubious. They find him seemingly convulsing, an elaborate act. Considering the urgency, the police overlook Driss's reckless driving and even volunteer to escort him to the hospital. To celebrate his win, Driss blasts September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. This unlikely friendship began months earlier. Philippe and his assistant, Magali, are conducting interviews for a new caretaker. The interviews are unproductive, yielding only awkward or uninspired candidates. Driss bursts into the interview, demanding paperwork to prove his ineligibility for the position so he can claim unemployment benefits. Despite his blunt and somewhat disrespectful demeanor, including hitting on Magali, Philippe finds Driss amusing. He asks Driss to return the next day for the signed paperwork. Driss returns to his modest home, where he struggles to bathe amidst the chaos of his numerous younger siblings. His older sister, Mina, helps him. He notices his brother, Adama, leaving a suspicious car, arousing his suspicions. That evening, Driss presents his mother with a stolen Fabergé egg, lying about his whereabouts. His mother, furious about his 6-month disappearance and subsequent reappearance without warning, kicks him out. Driss spends the night with friends. The next day, he goes back to Philippe's house, where the housekeeper, Yvonne, shows him around and explains Philippe's routine and the room he'll occupy. He's captivated by the bathtub. Philippe offers Driss the signed papers and a job opportunity, which Driss accepts. Philippe bets he won't last 2 weeks. Driss begins his new job, learning to care for Philippe. He assists with his physical needs, experiencing some awkward moments, such as helping Philippe with his stockings and personal hygiene. Despite his initial reluctance, he accepts these tasks. While enjoying a snack on the roof, he encounters Philippe's daughter, Elisa, and her boyfriend, Bastien, seeking privacy. Driss kicks them out. He becomes accustomed to his routine, making mistakes he learns from, like handing Philippe the phone instead of placing it to his ear or forgetting the baby monitor. He diligently organizes Philippe's mail, creating separate files for personal correspondence, ones he isn't supposed to open. He adds an escorts file rather than discarding their flyers. He continues his pursuit of Magali and hires escorts. Yvonne discovers weapons in his bag, but for now, she chooses not to mention it. Driss refuses to transport Philippe in a van, instead opting for a luxurious car, much to Yvonne's disapproval, but to Philippe's amusement. He confronts a neighbor illegally parked outside Philippe's house. At a museum, Driss criticizes Philippe's expensive art purchase. Philippe later learns of Driss's criminal record, but appreciates his blunt honesty and lack of pity. Driss is disturbed by sounds from the baby monitor. Philippe is struggling to breathe. Despite his initial resistance, Driss assists Philippe through a breathing attack. Philippe eventually falls asleep, only to wake up again, needing air. Driss takes Philippe for a nighttime stroll by the Seine, a soothing experience for Philippe, who confides in Driss about his physical limitations and grief over his deceased wife. Driss shares a joint with Philippe, alleviating his pain. At a restaurant, Philippe shares more about his past, including his wife's death and their adoption of Elisa. Philippe reflects on his past life of speed and adventure, contrasting it with his current reality. He mentions his love for his wife and his daughter, and how his disability is a lesser burden than the loss of his wife. Driss learns that Philippe's one-month trial has concluded, making him officially hired. Philippe reveals the significance of his 25 Fabergé eggs from his wife. The next day, Driss confronts Mina, his sister, about his stolen Fabergé egg and learns about the police inquiries at home. Adama confesses to drug possession. Driss overhears Philippe's private letter to Eleonore and, finding her number, encourages Philippe to call her. Philippe, thrilled by the outcome of the call, spends his time on the phone with Eleonore. Driss and Philippe attend the opera. Driss mocks the costumes. Driss convinces Philippe to exchange pictures with Eleonore, selecting one from before his accident. Elisa, upset by a breakup, attempts suicide. Driss agrees to confront her ex-boyfriend, Bastien, for a fee. Philippe's birthday brings a strained family gathering, leading to Elisa's emotional distress over her breakup with Bastien. Driss, hired to help, convinces Bastien to apologize to Elisa and bring her croissants daily. Driss visits his mother at work, observing from a distance. Philippe's date with Eleonore is a disappointment, resulting in a sudden trip to the countryside and a paragliding excursion. Adama, bearing scars from an unknown incident, refuses to discuss his situation. Magali reveals she is not interested in men. Driss, leaving Philippe's house, receives the escort file from Yvonne with the hidden photo. Driss disposes of the file but keeps the photo. He confronts a driver again, blocking the driveway out of principle. Driss obtains a job as a driver using Philippe's lessons, and the two reconnect when Philippe needs assistance with his pain. This leads them back to the police chase from the beginning and another high-speed drive. Their final scene shows Philippe at the coast, finding peace, and ending with the meeting of Philippe with Eleonore and the details of their real lives. If you enjoy it, click and subscribe and watch the next video.